So symbol is a straight line. So straightness is represented by straight line. So T is the tolerance. So what is the meaning of this? That means the actual surface should lie between two straight lines separated by a maximum distance of T. So the tolerance zone when projected by a plane is projected in a plane is limited by two parallel straight lines, the distance T apart. So the actual surface should lie between these two lines separated by a distance T apart. Okay, now we'll see this in details. With that, we complete straightness. So any question on straightness? Anything, any doubt? So one problem like this, like the class assignment which I just wrote, you will have to do in a disorder. Okay? So if you have any doubts, you can ask me tomorrow also. So first tolerance is straightness. Next we come to flatness. So flatness, so you should know all the symbols. What is the symbol for straightness? What is the symbol for flatness, etc. So flatness, the tolerance zone is limited by two parallel planes, the distance T apart. Okay, so same thing exactly like straightness, except that there are two parallel planes. Now we come to roundness. Roundness, tolerance zone is bounded by two concentric circles, the distance T apart. So again, reference circles for roundness, there are some complications. There are different types of minimum zone circle, least square circle. They are very similar to the what we are just saying for straightness. But in case of circle, there are other types of circles also. One is the minimum circumscribing circle. So, for example, if you want to check whether a shaft can be assembled into a hole, so you have to fit circles to the surfaces, and then we have to find out for the shaft what is the minimum circumscribing circle, and for the hole we have to find out the maximum inscribed circle. And if the MCC is lower than MIC, then assembly is possible. So to check assembly between two parts, these criteria are useful. So okay, maybe we'll see. I'll skip these details. If not, we'll do it tomorrow. Included in this. Okay, so roundness is that. So we have two circles within which the entire surface should lie. Then cylindricity. So just like two circles, instead of two circles, we have two cylinders. So the entire surface should lie within two cylinders, and the symbol is circle with two lines. Okay, so one point to remember is that this is the radial distance and not the diameter difference. Okay, so the definitions for roundness and cylindricity are based on radial distances. That's an important point to note. So based on that, I think I have some questions in the quiz. So profile of a line, the tolerance zone is limited by two lines. Okay, this is the next tolerance. Profile of a line is given by simply a curve, something like a semicircle. So the tolerance zone is limited by two lines enveloping circles of diameter t, the centers of which are situated on a line having the true geometric form. So for example, in case of gears, so first we have to establish a true geometric line of true geometric form, which is involute profile, if it is involute gear. If it is a cycloidal gear, we have to establish a cycloidal profile, etc. And then imagine lot of circles on that line, and the enveloping line defines the tolerance zone. And for profile of a surface, it is the tolerance zone is limited by two surfaces enveloping spheres of diameter t, the centers of which are situated on a surface having true geometric form. So in case of profile of a surface, instead of circle, we have spheres. So, and the limiting zone is identified by two surfaces. Okay, instead of two lines, it becomes two surfaces, three-dimensional equivalent. So these are the geometric, the form tolerances. So geometric tolerances we first divide into form tolerances and relationship tolerances. So these are the form tolerances defined by the standard. Now we come to the relationship tolerances. So first is parallelism. So parallelism is denoted by the symbol two parallel lines. Even in machine drawing also you would have studied this notation. So parallelism always requires a datum, whereas roundness, centricity, profile of a line, etc., they are all form tolerances. They don't need a datum. They should not have a datum. So sometimes I don't know. I think there may be a question like that. What is wrong with the geometric tolerance specified? So there should not be a datum for form tolerances. So again, datum is B. So first we have to establish, locate the workpiece on a surface plate or something, and then we have to move a dial over the surface, and the total movement should not exceed 0.25. So that is the meaning of this parallelism. So two planes or two lines parallel to a datum plane or axis defines the tolerance zone. Then we have perpendicularity. So two surfaces may be perpendicular. How perpendicular? So again, this is the symbol for perpendicularity. This is the tolerance value. This is the datum. And this is not given as an angle. So you have to remember. So parallelism and perpendicularity, they are not specified angles, but as distances. Okay. So angle measurement is not normally done. So first we have to locate the workpiece here, B, and then a dial has to be moved vertically, and the total deviation should lie within 0.1. So that is the meaning of this geometric tolerance. So that shows that the axis of that top cylinder is perpendicular to the So perpendicularity is defined by two planes or two dials, perpendicular datum plane or axis. So perpendicularity can be either two-dimensional in a plane or three-dimensional. Then it will be two planes, otherwise two lines. Then angularity, very similar. So only the how it is specified is you have to learn. So it is not given as a plus minus tolerance. So angularity is given as in a box. The nominal angle is given in a box like this. So that is one point you have to know. Okay, the nominal angle is given in a box, and this is the datum surface. And first you have to locate on this datum surface, and then we have to fit what we have to identify, measure points on the surface, and all these points should lie within a zone of 0.2 with respect to the correct angle. Okay, so we have to draw two lines, two parallel lines at the correct angle, separated by a distance 0.2, and the entire surface should lie within that zone. So that is the definition of angularity. So two parallel planes at the specified basic angle relative to a datum plane or axis define the tolerance zone. Next, so there are the three angle-based tolerance. Now we come to location. So symmetry. So symmetry tolerance symbol. Notice the symbol. One line followed by a short line, a long line, above it a short line, and below it a short line. So that's the tolerance for symmetry. So both sides should be equal. So how do you check this? So the value is specified again by a size 0.08 with respect to datum. So this is for the slot. So that means how do you check this? The axis of the slot. So we have to find out the real axis. And what is the axis of the datum? So we have to find out the axis of the datum. And then we have to identify a zone of say 0.04 up to whatever, with respect to the axis of the datum that I identified, and the actual axis of the workpiece should lie within that 0.08, that 0.08 wide tolerance. Okay, so the total width of the tolerance zone in which the median plane of the feature must lie. The feature is that slot. Okay, the axis of the slot. So the axis of the slot should lie in the 0.08 mm zone. Okay, so first we have to establish the datum. We have to find the axis of the datum. Then determine the tolerance zone is spaced on either side. And then we have to determine the axis of the median plane of the feature. And that median plane is the middle. So in this problem, we have to check whether the component which is given in the next slide is as per drawing, as per this drawing or not. Is it acceptable as per this drawing or not? So the symmetry tolerance is 0.25 with respect to A. So we have to find out the midpoint of A and F. So A is, okay, case 1, G is 10.16. So A is 10.16 up and F is 9.9 below. So the midpoint will be 0.16 plus 0.1, 0.26 by 2, 0.13 above the midpoint of the median of A and F. Okay, so it will be 0.13 above. So since 0.13 is greater than 0.125, since the total tolerance is 0.25, the zone is 0.125 on top, 0.125 at bottom. And since now the midpoint is 0.13 above, it is not acceptable. And if G is only 10.15, then the midpoint is 0.15 plus 0.1, 0.25 by 2, 0.125. So that is less than or equal to 0.125. So up to 0.125 is acceptable. So it is acceptable. Okay, so any question on this? So a similar. Okay, finally, paraxiality tolerance relationship between the axis of the tolerance feature and the axis of the datum feature. So the axis of the tolerance feature should lie within a diameter of 0.1 with respect to the datum. So this is not used much since symbols are difficult to locate. So better is to use the runout tolerance. So that's the next tolerance. So this is the paraxiality tolerance. So first we establish the axis of the datum. Then we establish the axis of the workpiece, and the distance between the two lie within diameter 0.1. So that's something. So radially it is 0.05. Maximum offset is 0.0. Okay, so finally we come to runout. So runout again are two types: radial runout and axial runout, circular or axial. So symbol is single axis, single arrow, and then we have two arrows for total runout. So this is simple runout. In simple runout, again it can be either perpendicular to the axis or parallel to the axis. So this is axial runout. This is circular runout. So imagine a dial gauge placed over here, and this workpiece is rotated. So the total up and down movement that should lie within 0.1. So that is the runout tolerance. So total movement. So that it's a total runout. So it includes both up and down movement. Okay, so that is when the part is rotated about the datum axis. So you locate the workpiece about this axis, the axis of the datum, and rotate. And then the total up and down movement of the tolerance surface should lie within this. This is the maximum pressure surface. And finally, we have total runout. So this is the three-dimensional vehicle. So single arrow, how it is? At a section, we have single arrow. vector section plus along the axis. So for runout, each section evaluated independently. For total runout, all sections are evaluated together. So this is a composite tolerance combining circularity, cylindricity, and biaxiality. So this is an example. So total runout 0.1 with respect to AB. So AB is the datum. So we have to rotate the workpiece with respect to the axis of AB. So either we can use V blocks, the surfaces A and B should be V blocks, two V blocks are required, or we have to use something like the roundest tester shutters with the high accuracy shuts have to be and rotated. And then we have to place a dial, and when you are rotating, it should be lie within 0.1. And also, if you move it axially also, it's total runout. So rotation plus axial movement over the length of the workpiece. So that is the meaning of the how much. So you see that the shape is formed. So assume it is perfectly symmetrical. So let's get a message or last few years. Circle amount is how much is the circle? It is one down. If you rotate, because top and equal, you have to that will the right tolerance. So in GD&T, tolerance are specified on actual position and not on coordinates. So this is different from conventional tolerancing. So for example, in conventional drawing, we'll write 50 plus minus 0.1, 50 minus plus minus 0.1 to locate the center of the hole. So what is the true position? That is 50. So 50 from bottom, 50 from left. So in GTLT, we have to write the true positions in rectangular boxes like this, 50 and 50. And then the tolerance position, how can that be given? That is through this symbol. So this is the position tolerance. So what does this mean? This means that the center of this hole should lie within a circle of diameter 0.1 with respect to its true position from A and B. So we have to first mark a point 50 from A and first from A and then from B, and then at a circle of diameter 0.1 with this correct center, and the position of the hole should lie within this circle. Okay, so that is, if it is within the circle, the part is acceptable, otherwise no. So we can draw, so this position, the true position of the hole center should lie within a circle of dia 0.1. So this left side is the same drawing as the previous one. So the center should lie within this circular tolerance zone of diameter 0.1, whose position is the true position. Center is of that hole should be 50 from A and B. So the center of the hole can vary from this position to the extreme position. So they are the two extreme positions. Okay, so that is basically the true position tolerance. So the center of the hole should lie within a cylinder of dia 0.1 and height equal to the hole depth. Okay, so we didn't mention about what is that M. M stands for maximum material condition. So that means this 0.10 tolerance circle applies only when the hole is at mm, it's at 20. And if the hole is bigger, so for example, suppose the hole is 20.05, that means it is 0.05 plus. Then this additional tolerance we have, that gets added to the circle position tolerance. So 0.05 is added to 0.1 to get 0.15. Okay, so this is a little confusing system, but once you understand it, it is simple. So the 0.1 tolerance applies when the hole is at its maximum material condition. Okay, so when the hole is bigger, that means you can have some more play. You have some more play for the mating component to enter. So whatever is that play, that gets added to the position tolerance. So suppose the hole is expanded to 20.1 because the tolerance of the hole is 20 plus something. Okay, so 20.1 is acceptable as per the hole tolerance. Then the position tolerance for that this hole, position of the center of the hole, can lie in a circle of diameter 0.2, since 0.1 gets added to the position tolerance of 0.1. So total tolerance is 0.2. Okay. So any question on this? Okay, so one advantage of the system of having tolerances based on the true position is that tolerance accumulation can be eliminated. So this is another advantage which we did not mention in the earlier slide. Okay, so GD&T eliminates tolerance accumulation. So for example, if you have these three holes, its position is 25 from here, 25 from the center of this hole, 25 from the center of this hole. If you write like this, so the tolerances are all 0.1 diameter with respect to the true position. Okay, so that means the third hole is at a distance of 75 is the true position, and then we have to draw a circular diameter 0.1. But suppose you give plus minus 0.1 tolerance. So if you write 25 plus minus 0.1, 25 plus minus 0.1, 25 plus minus 0.1, then what will be the total tolerance for the third hole? So the maximum value is 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.3. It can be 0.3 to the right or left and 0.3. Okay, so thus we get a total tolerance of 0.3. So the tolerance accumulates. So when we have a series of circles, or we have to give 25 and then from the left A to second hole 50, like that we have to give the conventional tolerance. So all that problem is avoided and also the datums are clearly identified. First primary datum is A, and then secondary datum is B. And the hole all have a tolerance of 10 plus 0.02. The size of the hole should be between 10 and 10.02. Okay, so all these are clearly defined in using GD&T. Okay, so this is clear, I hope. Okay, there's a small problem on this maximum material condition. So maximum material condition can be applied to other tolerances also. So for example, we can have this maximum material condition applied to a parallelism tolerance. So is the part acceptable if the part is 19.99 and parallelism error is 0.03? Okay, so this is the drawing. So the size is 20 plus point is 0.01 and parallelism tolerance is 0.01 at maximum material condition. So what does that mean? So when the part is maximum material condition, when is it maximum material condition? When the part is the biggest. So 20 plus minus 0.01. Maximum material condition is 20.01. So when the thickness is 20.01, the parallelism tolerance is 0.01. But suppose thickness is only 20, so it is 0.01 less. So then that tolerance will get added to this parallelism tolerance. So the parallelism tolerance becomes 0.02. Okay, so like that. So if the parallelism, when the dimension is 20.01, parallelism of 0.01 is okay. So only up to 0.01 is allowed. So that is the maximum material condition. So if the thickness is increased to 20.0, decreased to 20.00, then parallelism tolerance of 0.02 is also okay. And if the thickness is decreased to 90.99, that is 0.02 plus, that's 0.02 gets added to 0.01, you get parallelism tolerance of 0.03. Okay, so thus this maximum material condition can be applied to other tolerances also to get a total benefit. Okay, so that means if you are making the hole bigger, so we are interested mostly that the part should be assembled, we should be able to assemble together the parts. So if the hole is bigger, we can have a more tolerance in position, etc. Okay, if the thickness is smaller, in this case, if the thickness is smaller, we can have some extra tolerance on the parallels. Okay, so that is called a bonus tolerance. The tolerance we get by this maximum material condition modifier is called a bonus tolerance. So we have mentioned at the beginning. So that is one advantage of GD&T. We are able to get bonus tolerances. Okay, so with that we'll complete GD&T. So any question on GD&T?